Hi there! Today, we will be learning about Philippine mythology. So, what do you know about Philippine mythology? Philippine mythology is a collection of stories and superstitions about magical beings, aka deities, whom our ancestors believed that controlled everything. It's part of the folklore, which covers all kinds of traditional knowledge embedded in our society: arts, folk literature, customs, beliefs, and games, among others. Folk narratives are all about stories. They may be told in prose, verse, or both. They are further divided into three subcategories: the folktales or the Kwentong Bayan, legends or alamat, and myths. The folktales are pure fiction, something that you use to entertain bored kids. The legends and myths, meanwhile, are assumed to be true by the storyteller. It's the timeline that sets them apart. While legends happened in a much more recent time period, myths are believed to have taken place in the remote past, meaning a period when the world as we know it today wasn't fully formed yet. According to the late Damiana L. Eugenio, the mother of the Philippine folklore, myths account for the origin of the world, of mankind, of death, or for characteristics of birds, animals, geographical features, and the phenomena of nature. Falling under this subcategory are the stories or adventures of deities, defined as supernatural beings with human characteristics. These deities are either good or bad, and each of them has a specific function. Luzon Divinities. Bathala, also known as Aba, highest-ranking deity, was described as the may kapal sa lahat, or the creator of everything. His origin is unknown, but his name suggests Hindu influences. According to William Henry Scott, Bathala was derived from the Sanskrit Batara, which means noble lord. Idianale. One of them was Idianale, Idianale or Idianali in other sources, the goddess of labor and good deeds. Historian Gregorio Saide said that Idianale was the god of agriculture, while other sources suggest that she was the patron of animal husbandry, a branch of agriculture. Dumangan. Dumangan was the Tagalog sky god of good harvest, the husband of Idianale, and father to Dumaculem and Anitun Tabu. In Sambales culture, Dumangan or Dumagan caused the rice to yield butter grains. According to F. Landa Hocano, the early people of Sambales also believed Dumagan had three brothers who were just as powerful as him. Anitun Tabu. Among ancient Tagalogs, Anitun Tabu was known as the fickle-minded goddess of the wind and rain. She is one of the two children of Dumangan and Idianale. Dumaculem. Dumaculem was the son of Idianale and Dumangan, and brother of wind goddess Anitun Tabu. The ancient Tagalogs revered him as the guardian of the mountains. He is often depicted as a strong and skillful hunter. Ikapate or Lakapate. Ikapate or Lakapate was the Tagalog goddess of fertility. F. Landa Hocano described her as the goddess of the cultivated land and the benevolent giver of food and prosperity. Some sources describe Lakapate as androgynous, hermaphrodite, and even a transgender god. Anagulay. Pre-colonial Tagalogs who were hopelessly looking for their missing stuff prayed to Anagulay, the goddess of lost things. She was the daughter of two major Tagalog deities, Ikapate and Mapulon. She married the hunter Dumaculem, and give birth to two more deities, Apulake and Dian Masalanta. Apulake, arguably the Filipino counterpart of the Roman god Mars. Apulaki appeared in several ancient myths. The Tagalogs revered Apulake as the sun god as well as patron of the warriors. He shares almost the same qualities with the Kapampangan sun god of war and death, Aring Sinukuan. Dian Masalanta. If the Greeks had Aphrodite, our Tagalog ancestors had Dian Masalanta, the patron goddess of lovers and childbirth. This deity was the brother of the sun god Apulake, to parents Anagulay and Dumaculem. Amanicable. In the book Barangay by William Henry Scott and the 1936 Encyclopedia of the Philippines by Zolio Galang, Amanicable was identified as the Tagalog Anito of hunters who rewarded his worshippers with a good game. Mayari, Hana, and Tala. Once upon a time, Bathala fell in love with a mortal woman. She died after giving birth to 3 beautiful daughters. Before long, these 3 demigods were given specific roles. Mayari, Hana or Hanan in other references, and Tala became the Tagalog goddesses of the moon, morning, and star respectively. Lakan Bakod, Lakan Danum, and Lakan Bini. Lakan Bakod was described as a deity who had gilded genitals as long as a rice stalk. Lakan Bakod was the lord of fences, a protector of crops, powerful enough to keep animals out of farmlands. Lakambini was just as fascinating. Although the name is almost synonymous with muse nowadays, it was not the case during the early times. Galang Kaluluwa and Ulilang Kaluluwa. Ulilang Kaluluwa wanted the earth and the rest of the universe for himself. Therefore, when he learned of Bathala, who was eyeing for the same stuff, he decided to fight. After days of non-stop battle, Bathala became the last man standing. The lifeless body of Ulilang Kaluluwa was subsequently burned. A few years later, Bathala and Galang Kaluluwa met. The two became friends, with Bathala even inviting the latter to stay in his kingdom. But the life of Galang Kaluluwa was cut short by an illness. Upon his friend's request, Bathala buried the body at exactly the same spot where Ulilang Kaluluwa was previously burned. Haliya and the Bakunawa. Haliya is the moon goddess of Bicolano mythology who periodically comes down to earth to bathe in its waters. Legend has it that the world used to be illuminated by 7 moons. The gigantic sea serpent called Bakunawa, a mythical creature found in the early Bicolano and Hiligaynon culture, devoured all but one of these moons. Another story suggests that Haliya was the name of the last moon standing. Sitan. The Kasanaan is a place of punishment ruled by Sitan, which shares striking similarities with Christianity's ultimate Balin, Satan. However, Hokano said that Sitan was most likely derived from the Islamic ruler of the underworld named Satan or Shaitan. This suggests that the Muslim religion already had a grip to our society way before the Spaniards arrived.